Uh-oh.
Adam, I don't know what that sound is, but I think it means something about going through time. I don't. What is that? That's like
Zone,
Twilight Zone, right? Did they have a time travel episode of that?
Probably. They have an episode on everything.
But
so.
you know, well, they probably do. But you know who I know does have a time travel episode of that?
No.
We do.
We do.
We're the No Lights Remaining podcast, and this episode is on time travel. I'm Everett.
I'm Adam.
And Adam, let's set the boundaries of this podcast down.
Yes.
Okay. So you can only do it once, and I feel like this is one of those things. Like you're gonna time travel, and then you're there. Like you can't travel back.
You can't travel back.
Right, and this isn't like, and I would say this isn't like a sit-in time machine, because then it would come with you. Like there's got to be like almost like a teleporter pad.
So it's like Terminator style.
Right. You just you zone in and you're there, and there's no way to get back. So it's kind of like a no going back thing, and you only have one.
And also you go naked if it's Terminator.
Well, yeah.
That's
the fun part. I'm gonna time travel back to like
yeah.
I don't know. You just like pop in the middle of like a king's court. You're in the middle of his table. You're completely naked.
Yep.
And they're all speaking like gibberish, and you're just like, you just start dancing. Woo!
you go to someone and be like, I need your boots, your clothes, and your motorcycle.
Yeah. And they're like, what is a motorcycle? I don't know why we'd be in that kind of dialect of land.
That's because you're in Sweden, so.
Yeah, exactly.
So, would you be able to move like geographically as well? Or would you have to go there first?
I feel like you wouldn't be able to. It wouldn't make sense, but just let's not get super realistic like we did with Ant-Man and Spider-Man, and all that other stuff. Like
Jurassic World.
Like let's start out by saying no. It's not going to be super. For time saving sake, let's say no.
Yeah,
it won't bind you geographically, even though in most cases it should. But let's say you set a date, a time, and like a latitude and longitude, and it like warps you there through space. So cool. And you can go through the past, anywhere in the present, or in the future. and it's kind of like a Schrodinger's cat type thing, like where you go back in the past. And since you can never go back, you don't know if you've changed the future.
Yeah, but you wouldn't care anyway because you weren't there anymore.
Right. So like the obvious answer everyone would say is I would go back in time and kill Hitler. Blah blah blah. Yeah. But to you that's not going to matter. You've only got one try. You'll never know if it even changed anything. So well, first question is, what would you do? Would you rather go to the future and see like what's there, or would you go back in the past and like meet an icon, or would you just like use it for some kind of present day type thing where you'd warp back to like when you were 18 and you missed out on a chance to sleep with some girl that you regret horribly, or just some like night where you had a really bad drunk and you'd stop yourself? What would you do?
Like your wedding? No. So going to the future, it's the kind of place where it'd be good to visit, but you don't know what it's going to be like at all. So you're basically going there blind.
Yeah.
And as bad as the past may have been, at least there is like some kind of records and an idea of what it was actually like and stuff. And if you went prepared, then you could know of like all the disastrous things that like major events that were going to happen and stuff, and act accordingly. But with the future, you're going in blind, so you may just like go there and suddenly like the apes have taken over, humans are all slaves, and there you go, you're trapped there forever. So it's the kind of place to visit, but to go forever, I'm not so sure. So probably go backwards in this case.
Okay.
How about you?
I think I would go backwards.
Yeah.
Mainly for the reason that you stated, is it's kind of, you'd be going blind into the future. Yeah. And honestly, I feel like if you go to the future, you'd pop in there, you wouldn't have a gas mask, and you'd just suffocate because of all the CO2 in the air. Yeah, it would just be kind of just like, it would be kind of how you pictured Venus before we saw what the surface of Venus actually looks like. It's just like green haze just everywhere with volcanoes erupting. I feel like that's how the future looks in my mind.
So you don't think it's like Buck Rogers or Jetsons or something in the Gulf?
No.
Beautiful cities and flying cars and things.
Not as long as the way the world works. There's no way that like oil companies would allow that to happen.
Political time travel now.
So
going into the past, at least you could stop the oil companies from doing that. So
right, and you could still kill Hitler if you wanted to, just to die knowing that maybe you made some kind of difference in the world, and maybe you'd see like an immediate difference. Maybe you'd stop the war before the bombs dropped on Hiroshima, or maybe the war wouldn't even start because you'd go back to like Venice or wherever he was in freaking art school and kill him then, like, stuff like that. Or the really religious people would go back and they'd save Jesus, and then, where's Jesus who? No, but
it would change everything though, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
because then he wouldn't be a martyr, so it'd just be some guy.
Right.
And but like going to kill Hitler, like if he was in his art class or something, suddenly he'd be a famous artist. Right. Because he was killed
so just
before his time.
Off the top of your head, what would you do if you go back in time? Like, would you try and change something, or would you just go back to experience something?
I'd probably go back to experience something, because changing stuff, you don't know where it's going to end.
Right.
Like, I mean, okay, you wouldn't care too much, but you don't know whether it would have a bad effect or anything like that. I'm sure certain things wouldn't.
Yeah.
But the whole butterfly effect thing, it can really, really kick off.
Yeah.
And you may make things worse in that time, let alone in any other time.
Right.
So I think I would just like go back and experience stuff. As to exactly where, but it becomes a problem again, because there's all these horrible diseases and things.
Right, and not to mention you're inoculated from all the diseases that you currently have, and so you'd warp into like ancient England, and you'd be like at a knight's table. All of them would immediately get smitted with all these diseases that it'd be like the whole Americans arriving on North America, all that, like the Pilgrims and the Indians type thing. People just immediately get the pox.
Yeah, and it'll all be super diseases as well, because they're all resistant to drugs.
Right, exactly. yeah, and so all those diseases would be rampant, and then people would eventually evolve. The survivors would evolve. Yeah. And then in the future, there'd be even more immune diseases, and it'd be like the worst. But then there wouldn't
kill half the population of the world,
right?
Just by going back.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I were to warp back in time, I'd want to warp back to like the Great Library, and where was it, Iran, or the Library of Alexandria?
Alexandria,
that got sacked. And warp in there and like smit all those people with my disease. Like I just like squat down and take a crap just to like smit everyone, so that
Pretty
all
sure
that
that's
stuff
not allowed in a library.
Well, neither is burning and destroying everything in there. Like that library was the freaking center
I could just picture like the riot going on and stuff, and then you just you take a crap and everyone just stops. And there's like silence.
and I'm just like,
we're all so shocked.
But, like, could you imagine if we still had all the stuff that was in that library? Like, it's such a wealth of knowledge.
You mean, like, all the plans for helicopters and laser beams and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like, honestly, we would be so far ahead in technology, just like, and I'm not saying that they'd have laser guns and stuff. I know that you in your heart believe that, Adam, that there was laser guns there. But no, I just feel like society would be so much more advanced if that wouldn't have happened, just because of that stuff. So yeah, I'd probably go back in time and try and stop that, and probably end up killing everyone around with my diseases anyways.
So we'd go with good intentions, but end up causing mass death.
But I feel like I've always felt like I was born in the wrong time period. I feel like I used to, like, in a past life, lived in like feudal Japan, and I would love to go back and see.
I would, but the place was nuts.
It was nuts, but
you'd end up dead pretty quickly, probably.
Probably. I mean, I'd get beheaded almost immediately, but
just for.
But it would just be
different.
I'd be like, "Oh my god, I'm being beheaded!" Yeah, exactly. Like, it'd just be like, amazing. Oh, jeez.
Okay, now we know how you want to go out.
What about, would you be interested to, like, go back, like, diseases aside, let's say that, when
say you're immune or something,
right? Well, there's the future, and they've developed the tech, like a pill, to destroy all the diseases in your body and keep you immune at the same time. So, would you be interested in going back to, like, ancient Rome and watching, like, a gladiatorial fight?
Not so much the blood spots, but it'd be nice to explore the place, like, see what it is like and stuff. Things like the Renaissance and stuff would be interesting. Like, you could go there and see it being done, and then be like, Michelangelo, this statue would look better without any arms.
I thought you were going to say without a penis.
just cover up that shame.
The statue would look a little bit better with a bigger penis.
And then in the future, you're like, he's in an exhibit and he's got like Calvin Klein boxes on.
It looks just like you.
Yeah,
it's got like the dad guy or dad bod or whatever they call it.
So now I've never actually seen it in person, but for all I know, it does. Like, you go up there and have a close look, and it's actually me.
Or he makes it with like just like, you go up to him and you're like, why doesn't this have arms? And he's like, oh, I'm really bad at making arms. They're just like snowman arms.
on the back, like just underneath the hairline, it says "Made in China" or something.
or like in his ass crack, it says "Adam was here."
No. That's so wrong.
Oh man.
So would you go back any time, like in your life at all? Would you revisit a time in your life? Would you revisit your former self?
It's kind of like that old, I think it was Dane Cook joke where he says he'd like go back in time and smack his dad on the ass the minute he was conceived.
Oh, no.
I feel like that was Dane Cook. But yeah, no, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of, like, everyone has regrets, whether they say to regret them or not. I feel like there's a few moments in time when I'd like to just, like, call myself on the phone and be like, do, like, the whole hint thing.
Yeah.
Or stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like my life would be severely altered, though, and at that point, you'd see it happen. And so you'd be like, I don't know. You'd see your life change, and be like, wait, I didn't want that at all. So, like, I feel like that would be a little different.
Do you think it'd be like on South Park, though, and you call yourself and you just wouldn't listen?
Yeah, you just like, wrong number. Click.
Yeah. This is very important.
Yeah, you must listen. No thanks.
Do not get on the plane.
Right. No.
Advertising.
But would you go back in time and try and set your future self up? Like, if you could do something to where you set up kind of like a Illuminati type thing, where you set up a bank account that had like some priceless treasure in it, and you tasked a certain family of generations to deliver a message on this day at this point to this like location,
just to mess with them.
Yeah, and then like in your daytime when you were actually alive, like someone delivers a message and like, this was from like the year 1300 and it's been passed down, delivered to you, and then like it makes you like a bajillionaire. Like it's like the bones of Muhammad or something. I don't know. Like just something like immensely valuable to some people that would make you rich and famous. Would you try and set something up like that? Kind of like a Back to the Future type thing.
I would totally do the Back to the Future thing and
like
just send letters to people at random who I knew were going to be in a certain place at a certain time.
Right.
Just to freak people out in the future.
Yeah.
But
I guess Biff was able to take back the Sports Almanac.
Yeah.
So,
okay, that I would probably do, because then you got the choice of how much to use it or not, and you wouldn't have to go overboard.
Right.
You could just use it a little bit here and there.
Biff totally went overboard.
Yeah,
if you could bring back like your iPhone and stuff, or like just what like if you could bring back one item, what would you want to bring back? To like try
I always thought about this. It'd be cool to take something electronic back and be like, oh look, magic.
Yeah, but once it dies, you'd have to bring like a solar adapter for your iPhone as well, because once it dies, and they'd be like, it doesn't work anymore. He's lost his power. Kill him.
Maybe I'd bring a lightsaber.
Okay. Oh, that'd be amazing. One of those like really good ones.
Yeah.
You'd bring
don't
like
come close.
Your whole Jedi outfit, right? You'll be like, this wand will cut your sword will cut you in half, and they believe it until like someone snuck in your room and touched it.
And freak people out.
I feel like I'd like to go. Who was it that I was thinking this about? It's like I'd love to go back in time to someone who created something that like later got a really awesome movie made out of it. But they were
Twilight.
already dead. Yeah, exactly, like Twilight or Insurgent. No, like who was
50
it?
Shades.
Was it like the creator of Transformers or something? When I saw Transformers 1, I can't remember. But I was thinking I'd like to bring like a movie back to someone that has passed away now, but like create maybe like J.R.R. Tolkien.
Oh, I see,
like bring the whole Hobbit trilogy, not the Hobbit trilogy. No,
He'd be like, "What the hell have they
What
done?
the hell have they done?" Bring back the movies and like watch it with him. And after he's like astounded by the technology of being able to watch moving pictures, he'd well, I don't think he's that old, but but just to like get his take.
Oh my god! There's people trapped in this box.
He just smashes the TV you brought with him.
It's a Gandalf.
Oh no! Gandalf. Oh. But yeah, something like that would be cool to do.
Yeah.
Now,
I think so.
Before we end here, if you went to the future, what would you hope to see? Not like realistically, like carbon dioxide.
Yeah. It would probably be like less conflict between countries and things. Like, like just
hippie.
No, I just mean like less everyone all out for themselves kind of thing, and just like the human race finally starting to pull together and work towards something better. But that's probably not going to happen. Don't think it's in our nature.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'd like to see kind of a world that kind of looks like it does now. Like it's still got a bunch of nature. Like I'd hate for the whole Jetsons, like silver-plated Earth thing to happen. But yeah, I'd like to see trees and grass and flowers still. But I'd like to see like cars that are all automated. That drive by themselves and they all drive the speed limit and they like don't collide and stuff. I'd like to see
that would be good.
I'd like to see like big energy, like big oil and stuff, be like solar and wind and like all like the renewables, like people, like they're the greedy assholes.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter because like they're not destroying the earth. They're just stuff like that. And I'd like to see like politicians actually like do stuff for the people. That's the kind of future that I would hope to like go into the future and see. I feel like
you're dreaming. It's gonna be Mad Max, and we all know it.
I know it's gonna be Mad Max with the poisonous gas. So yeah, that I think hopefully we won't want to go back into the past and not do this podcast again. Hopefully we wouldn't have gone back in the past and erased that outro that I just tried to do.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Oh man. All right. Well, that was a good conversation, Adam.
Yep.
We really don't have a life remaining after that podcast. So I've been Everett.
I've been Adam.
And thanks everyone for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Fun. kill him.
Watch out!